Hello. There is nothing I can't do. From the rural area. Ajuma, wanasema
This school, we have a number of challenges. We have a challenge of classroom. As a classroom behind me, this is grade 7 and grade 6. This is an old structure that started in the early 70s. And we are working out on how we can we can get a better structure for these kids to be comfortable. In fact, if you see this class, when it rains, there is water all over the ground. Other challenges that we have is the challenge of staffing. Like we have 8 teachers from the Teacher Service Commission, and they are not enough with the population that they have. Other challenges that we have is the challenge of water. In fact, during drought, this is a tank we have, but during the drought, we have a challenge of water in the school. Now, we also have a challenge, we don't have a feeding program for these kids. So when they go for lunch, they come late, and then you find that sometimes the first lesson spilled to the second one because of time wastage. So if we can get a feeding program for these kids, I think we can be able to sustain them in school, and the academic can be uplifted. Other challenges at hand are resources, like we don't have enough books for these kids. We normally have FP, Free Primary Education Fund, which is not enough. And so you find that we have some financial constraint in terms of assessing the resources for these kids to learn. Other challenges that we have is the washroom. There are very few compared with the population that we have. We have only 1 for girls and 1 for boys, and there are very few. There's a congestion there, so that one is another challenge that we have. Another challenge is the administration block. In fact, because we'll go along, we just have one of the classrooms that we partition to make it a staff room and a teacher's office at the same time, and the deputy. So that's a challenge. We don't have an administration block. So we don't have staff quarters here. Like I reside from Longisa, and that one takes a lot of resources to commute to this place, and even time wastage. So we have a number of challenges to be precise. When it comes to these challenges, in fact, we've been looking forward to approaching the national government through the Constituency Development Fund to fund, but we have not been successful. And all the well-wishers are welcome to ensure that we uplift this school to make it a standard that is required. Thank you. This is the class I was talking about. You can see how it is. It has no doors. It has no windows. You can see how the ground is. In fact, one of the challenges, because of the topography, is that when it rains, we have water all over, disturbing the learning of our kids around. So these are one of the challenges that we have. We've been trying to put on charts, but they get spoiled because of the how the classroom is all. Now you can see holes around. Even some kids can go over these holes outside. We have another one there. So now this is the kind of class that we have, and it's our prayer that within a short time we can do away with such kind of a structure. So this is our library. This is where we keep our books, but you can see that the room is very small, and it brings a lot of challenge because of the congestion in getting books from here. And the room is also not enough for the books. So that's another challenge that as I mentioned, that we have a challenge of where to keep books. So library is also another challenge that we have in Ndubai Primary School. This is another area that we have a challenge. This is a washroom. We have on my right the boys' washroom. We have girls' washroom just next. So that is a challenge. We had a girls' washroom up there, but it collapsed during the heavy rains. So for now, you can see with the population that we have of 198 girls, using only 2 doors washroom, it's a congestion and it wastes time during class time. Now we have 243 boys using around 3 doors here. So that's another congestion. So we can see that washroom is also another challenge that we have in Dubai Primary. So when assisted, we can really appreciate. Thank you. Some of the classes, permanent classes that we have are not in good condition. Like you can see, this classroom has no door, no windows. So even teachers concentrating in putting the charts for learning, it becomes a challenge. Even maintaining books in this class is a big challenge because of how the class is. So is our kind request that if you can get some funding of renovating this class, the floor and the doors and the windows, I think we can make this place spacious for learning, and it can make learning to be realistic, and it can enable us help the child to realize their dreams.